Hi everyone, how are we doing today? My name is Mariah Nelson. I'm going to be doing a pet peeve speech on vacation challenges. So how many of you like to lay on the beach and relax? I know I do. How many of you actually get to do that though? I bet that's because of all the hassle you go through just to get on the flight. Do you even try to fly anymore? You're depriving yourself of a getaway. It's a shame that families don't get to travel as often as someone in the airline industry. I do quite often. It's not that bad if you have patience, but I'll try to help you while the challenge is being faced when you are trying to reach your vacation destination. So I do work in the airline industry. I work with the public airlines, which is associated with Delta, United, and American. I work so I can travel the world for free. It makes me very knowledgeable though of all the stuff I see when going through the airport and trying to reach your vacation destination. Traveling helps me see struggles. It occurs for all airlines though, it's not just one, it's many. A few family members of mine were traveling and asked me for a few tips. I said of course, they wanted to know anything they could that would help them out along their experience, which I would love to. Most people experience bad customer service when checking in. My aunt and uncle greeted their customer service agents with a hello, and there was no response. She just looked up and reshuffled the travel documents, which they gave. They were standing at the counter for about 25 minutes while the agent was fixing their flight reservations at an international airport. There were still no words exchanged until she finally asked another agent for help because their computer wasn't working correctly. My aunt and uncle asked what was wrong as she mumbled back with something they couldn't understand. Neither of them knew, they just stood there in silence. This customer service agent clearly had no skills that were needed for this position, and she did not care about her job. So I'm going to show you a PowerPoint slide that I created about vacation challenges. First, we have to get educated. You want to educate the customer service agent on the importance of good customer service, which is always good, and these are going to be some reasons why. You want to inform the travelers of airline etiquette. You want to tell them how airlines can improve on their on-time performance, which there are many ways to do so, as you'll see in the slide. A wise investment on expanding the size of the overhead bins. And you also want to research the country you are visiting before you do your travels there. First, we're going to discuss on how to explain to the customer service agents why interaction is important. First reason would be often the only contact a customer has with the company is whenever they're talking to and checking in. Customers are vital to an airline because without them, they wouldn't exist. You need passengers to fly. Without passengers, your airplane is not going to fly. Airlines depend on those customers. You also want to build brand awareness. Word of the mouth is the most powerful ally to do whenever you're traveling. People are constantly on social media posting about how they feel about their flight with an airline. So that'll decide if other people want to fly with that in the future. It's also a great marketing angle. It's something you can use in your advertisement, which brings in more customers. And as I said before, the more customers, the more your airline's going to do better. Airlines maintain points of interaction. For example, if a passenger prefers a seat in the exit aisle because he wants more legroom, well, if it's open, offer it to him. Be nice, just simple gestures like that will make your airline that much better. Next, we have airline travel etiquette. During your experience with an airline, you are being forced to come into contact with people you don't know. So a little consideration can go a long way. Here are some examples of how to do so. Storing your belongings. Whenever you're walking through the aisle of the aircraft, maybe it's just nicer if you carry your bags in front of you, low to the ground as you walk down in search of your seat. That way your bags aren't hitting off everybody as you're walking by. I've had that experience this one time, actually my first few times flying. I would carry my bags up top because it was easier and you thought it would be out the way, but really it's just more way to lean and your bag hits off the bins and other people's bags, so it's just easier if you hold them lower. Something small and simple. You also want to utilize that overhead bin space for above your own seat row. If you're in seat 2A, keep your bag in the 2 bin section. Because if you place your bag in someone else's row, it holds up the line and may delay the flight. Because if everybody's getting backed up from you trying to walk back and forth of where you want to put your bag, everybody has to back up, and then it does cause a delay. And a delay causes delays for other flights that you're trying to get to. You also want to avoid hogging the aisle. The space is limited. You're only in an airline. Your aisle is only usually as wide as you are when you're walking through. So you definitely want to be considered as you're walking down the aisle. You also want to keep your chairs placed in the upright position until the flight attendants tell you to do otherwise. And whenever you do recline, you maybe recline it back slowly so the person behind you knows that you are doing it, and it gives them room to adjust themselves before you completely put your seat back. Personal space is always the number one. Like I said before, you are with a variety of strangers and you want to keep their space with theirs and yours with yours. So whenever you are sitting, say you have a middle seat, you are set with 2 armrests, but really you're only assigned to 1. So don't hog up the armrest, just watch your elbow space and don't fall asleep on the person beside you. I've seen it happen quite a bit and it makes that person feel very uncomfortable. So back to expanding overhead bins. Oh, this is something that some airlines are talking about,